Are you feeling lucky? It's week 7 in the Chattahoochee Valley as we're halfway home in the regular season. This week is headlined by one of the Valley's most storied rivalries. Region 1-4A rivals collide as the undefeated Carver Tigers take aim at the Northside Patriots at A.J. McClung Memorial Stadium. It's a top 10 showdown as Bremen makes the trip to LaGrange for a date with the Callaway Cavaliers in a big-time Region 5 2A matchup. PrepZone has won 3 straight over Pacelli, but Pacelli is back with a vengeance, looking to be a player in Region 4-1A this year. It's the Cougars and the Vikings in the 48th battle for the Brucelli Jug in our Pepsi PrepZone Game of the Week. The PrepZone preview starts right now. What's up and what's good, party people? I'm Jack Patterson, joined next to Rex Castillo. Welcome to week 7. We are halfway home in the regular season of the PrepZone preview. Now, you might wonder where Justin is. He is on the disabled list this week. He will be back next week on the PrepZone preview, and of course, you'll see him Friday on the PrepZone and the Friday Night Tailgate show. As for us, it's time to run it back. Last week, Central and Opelika, a huge game over at Bulldog Stadium, and it kind of lived up to the hype here. Opelika was fighting with Central in the first half, only 14-0 at the half. Central kind of pulled away late.
Sure.
But it's just, I think it's more of not saying that Central's bad, but just how good Opelika really is that they hung in with them for that long.
And Coach Speakman also said that they won't see these kind of teams when their postseason runs around. Now, they're putting a lot of pressure on themselves to win out and get to the playoffs, but Opelika, guys, the record is what the record is, but they are a very, very good team, and I think they'll be just fine come region play.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you think about it, they're already 1-1 in their region, okay? But let's just look at the gauntlet they've run, okay? At the time that they played them, okay, Callaway was the number 4 team,
right?
Okay, Auburn number 5 team in 7A. Now number 4 undefeated. Callaway's only losses to a top 10 ranked Troop in Class 4A. Okay, number 1 Wetumpka, number 1 Central.
Might as well, just put Alabama on the schedule. Why not?
Seriously, I have never seen a high school team run through that kind of a gauntlet at the beginning of the season.
A well-deserved break this week. I'm excited to see what the Bulldogs can do later on.
Absolutely. So, big win for Central. They just keep on trucking.
Central's doing Central things. Surprise, surprise.
But I'm really impressed with how Opelika came out, played, hung in with a very tough team.
So if the opponents underestimate Opelika because of the record, shame on you. This team is very, very good, and I'm pretty convinced. Pretty deep playoff run for the Bulldogs.
Absolutely, no doubt. I feel like they will be the number 2 team in that region easily. So, back over in town, we go to Carver and Columbus over at Connect Stadium. That's the game you covered, Rex. And for the first half, Carver put us whipping on Columbus, but then the Blue Devils came back.
And so the Blue Devils have a lot of fight to them, and I give them a lot of credit for that. But I think at this game, it was Carver has better athletes, and they're now more disciplined, and they trust their coach in Corey Joyner. The first play of the second half, now sure, they got pushed back a little bit. It was a great punt and some penalties here and there, but Kyrie McCoy ripped off a 98-yard run. He ran in and out of focus if you see these highlights right now. But that team is loaded with athletes, and the fact that they're starting to believe in each other, believe in the system, and now they're undefeated. This team primed for another deep run, so Columbus was great, but they just got punched in the mouth early and couldn't recover.
Yeah, this Carver team is starting to get frightening again.
Absolutely.
We are starting to get back into what Carver was like in the glory days here with Del McGee and Joe Kegler here. These boys are good, and there is a good chance they're playing Northside. We'll get to that in a little bit. They're playing Northside this week. There's a good chance they could be 6-0 and undefeated going into a road game against Cairo, which could be the de facto region title game.
So, and the other thing about that is that they knew that they had a lot of home cooking come the early part of the season. And Coach Joyner mentioned it is so important for them to win as many games as possible and to be possibly undefeated heading into their first road game of the season against a very tough Cairo team. This team, I think, has all the tools to do it. And again, if you look back at it, they've also won a lot of close games. The Columbus game was kind of an anomaly for them. They were up 30-7, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, we've never been up this much before. But if they're in a 3-point game, in a region game later on in the season, I have full faith in the Carver Tigers because they have the composure, they have the weapons, and most importantly now they have the faith in each other. So the sky's the limit for Carver.
Yeah, and as for Columbus, it started slow.
Yeah.
But I mean, a lot to say about that comeback. That game was what, a 28-point game at one point.
At one point, it was,
and brought it down to I think as low as 10 points. I mean, that's huge.
Columbus is one of those teams where they can fight. They are contenders. It's
exactly.
just a couple things don't fall their way.
It's almost like that kind of underdog mentality.
Yes.
Where you know that the deck's stacked against you, and the best thing you can do is just keep fighting.
And just keep swinging. I think they'll start getting more breaks heading their way because hopefully the football gods will give it to them. But Columbus is one of those teams, they won't give up. And it's a lot of credit to the Blue Devils. This region, once again, who knows what's going to happen.
I looked at the region standings before we came in here to tape this. Whew, buddy, there are 4 teams at 1-2 in this region.
It's not going to get any easier.
And there are 2 teams at 2-1 in this region. And there are 2 teams at 3-0 in this region. There's only 1 team that is winless in this region, that's Doherty.
Get your popcorn ready, y'all. This season's about to get a lot more fun.
That region is going to be insanity personified.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it.
Cannot wait. We'll talk back about Carver in a little bit. And the last game on our running back is American Sumter and Hardaway. This game was better than it had any business being. Okay?
Absolutely.
I mean
instant classic?
I say game of the year right now.
Wow.
Game of the year right now.
When we saw the highlights, man.
I'm biased because I was there. I experienced it. But
let's talk about that a little bit more. So the game was back and forth the entire way.
Okay.
We saw the highlights, but we were on the horn with Jack, who could not contain his excitement. Now, looking at these highlights, of course, the game went back and forth.
Yes.
What was it like being on the sideline?
All right. Well, just to give you full perspective. I covered Manchester, Marion County earlier in the night. So I got to the game third quarter. It's 14-12 Hardaway. Just started third quarter. Hardaway gets down the field, scored off an interception off of American Sumter. 2 plays later, Jerron Early rips off a 37-yard touchdown run. But the caveat, and I said it to one of the guys on the sideline as soon as it happened, they missed the extra point.
Kickers are people too.
Kickers are people too, but that is going to be big. And then American Sumter's, whose offense didn't really do anything in the second half, all of a sudden Hardaway couldn't. They were trying to run the clock out at the end of the half, couldn't get it done, so they had to punt the ball away. American Sumter has the ball with 2 minutes to go. They scored in 15 seconds. A 77-yard screen pass from Kirsten Harvey to Montrellis Wilson, and all of a sudden, in the extra point, the 2-point conversion is good. We're tied with 1:45 to go. So it just got bananas from there. Man, huge credit to Dominique Ford, Hardaway's quarterback, because American Sumter was bringing the heat late, and he stood in the pocket. He took a sack late in that game too, which a lot of people thought, okay, here we go, overtime. But no, he stayed with it. He looked down his progressions. He found his receivers open deep. He made plays. He ran for a 10-yard run, first down. Just all-around performance. And then how about the clutch gene that Xavier Clark has?
Incredible. We've seen people in college and the pros obviously miss chip shots like this. This kid,
and American Sumter froze him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, American Sumter froze him.
Wow.
And ice water in the kid's veins. He
dead center, wasn't it?
Knocks it dead down the middle. The celebration was on homecoming, no less.
Wow.
And then let me tell you this. This is a kind of a personal touch for me. Mike Woolridge, okay?
Yeah.
He is a highly emotional man.
Sure.
I love it, okay? He tells it straight. Now, personal story for me is 3 years ago when Mike Woolridge had just taken the job. Hardaway went 0-10 the year prior, okay? Yeah. They started the season, I believe, 2-1. They were playing Harris County on the road in Tiger Stadium. And similar to last Friday night's game, they won it on a game-winning about 25-yard field goal or so.
Wow.
I interviewed him after that game.
Sure.
And just the pure emotion that he had after that, and then I interviewed him after last Friday's game, the pure emotion he had after that, I'm pretty certain that he's probably going to make it a requirement that I cover all Hardaway games from now on.
Hey, the highlights look that great. You're absolutely on it.
Because the last 2 times I've covered a Hardaway game, they've won it at the buzzer.
So, hey, Hardaway, here's your new beat reporter. That's awesome, man. Congratulations to the Hawks. I mean, Game of the Year, absolute candidate. It definitely earned it. And for the composure of those kids to come through in those moments, this part of the year, it's going to pay off later.
And listen, not to sell America something short.
Right.
Because those boys hung tough.
Yeah.
Those boys hung tough. They defending region champions. You know why?
Mm-hmm.
It was a hard-fought game. It was a shame that somebody. This is one of those games where it's a shame somebody had to lose.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and I wish that game could have just kept going on and on because both teams played absolutely great in the second half of that game. Oh man,
football season's here, baby.
Football season's here. On to Eye on the Future.
Here we go.
You wanted to shine a special spotlight on the number 4 team in Class 7A, at least as of this recording,
right?
The Auburn Tigers.
Man, these Auburn Tigers, we knew that they were good coming into this, and we knew that they had a lot of potential. I mean, just the roster stacked with D1 talent. They have all the potential to live up to, and they have. Going up to 5-0 now.
Yeah.
So, in this team, the target keeps getting bigger and bigger on their back, but Coach Weingartner mentioned, like, this is the expectation that we have. We know what we have. We know what we can do. So I really believe that Auburn they've kind of been pushed to the side a little bit just because there are so many amazing stories to tell.
Yeah.
But they've earned this spotlight. Auburn can make a deep playoff run, and who knows who they run into. Maybe the state championship there's a spot for them there, but I'm really impressed with what I've seen from Auburn.
And here's the thing that I love about this, is that a lot of people said, oh, Auburn's not going to be as good as last year's team was.
Right.
And I'm like, where did that come from?
Oh, sure.
Auburn has had this unique knack to, even when they lose some of their top talent, okay, they've had this unique knack of always next man up mentality, okay? And they've always played well regardless. Sometimes they start slow. This isn't the case this year.
No, they
5-0, and I'm going to be honest. I think all sites lead to October 26th, Garrett Harrison Stadium.
Yeah.
That's going to be the region title game in 2-7A, Central Auburn. I cannot wait.
Oh my goodness.
Cannot wait. That would possibly upset American Sumter Hardway as the game of the year.
Absolutely.
I think because Auburn last year, until Central played McGill-Tulane in the semifinals, Auburn was the only team to hang with Central for all 4 quarters. Okay? You cannot tell me this team looks better than they were last year. You cannot tell me that this team is not primed for a state title run. And here's one thing that we always talk about, how Central's had issues with McGill-Tulane, so has Auburn. We've always, Rex, this is your first year here.
Absolutely right.
But we've always had this feeling that we're going to get Central Auburn in the state semifinals. Winner goes to the state championship. McGill-Tulane has screwed that up the last 4 years.
Thanks, guys.
Okay? So I feel like this is the year that Auburn can beat McGill-Tulane. We won't have to worry about that anymore. And I promise you, I seriously think we are going to have an Auburn Central State semifinal game.
First of all, you're right. How much fun is that going to be? And I know that a lot of the spotlight goes to Central. Deservedly so.
As it should.
As it should. Auburn is one of those teams, like, they're just waiting and waiting their time. Kind of like, I'll go back a little bit to college football here a little bit. USC back in 05-06 was the prima donna of the team. They had, Liner, they had Bush, they had everybody who was supposed to be ready to be in the NFL. The Texas Longhorns are always waiting with Vince Young. I feel like that's how the Auburn Tigers are here in this situation.
You had to circle that around back to Texas.
Yes, hook 'em. But here's the thing. The Central is like USC here. They have all the players. They have all the talent. They have all the new uniforms. Central, great-looking unis, by the way. But Auburn is one of those things where, yes, you get all the spotlight for now. We'll just do our thing. We'll keep winning, and we'll see you later down the road.
Exactly.
And I think you're right. This team, every time I've seen them, like, this team could give the Red Devils a fight. And it'll be so much fun to see them lock horns.
It's good. It's going to be a lot of fun. And kudos to the schedule guy, because that game used to be the first week of the regular season.
No, push it back, man. Come on.
It is now the penultimate week of the season, and it will likely be, barring something that we don't see happening, be for the region title.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna just be so.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. Flip it back over to the Georgia side of the river, and we got ourselves another top 10 showdown going down at Callaway Stadium. The Callaway Cavaliers, they bounced back big time after that loss to Troop. They knocked off Temple 49-0. But big time showdown coming up against the Bremen Blue Devils, a newcomer to Region 5AA. But this team coming from 3A down to 2A was a playoff team last year, finished the season 9-2. They are currently ranked second in the state, Callaway A. This one is going to be a heavyweight title fight, and it could be for the region title, even though both teams still have to play the defending region champion, Heard County, in the last 3 weeks of the season.
So Callaway, one of these things where they come out and win 49-0. That shows you how tough Troop was.
Yes.
And how great Troop will be down the line. But Callaway is one of those teams. Sure, you beat us once. It's time to make a statement.
Yeah.
So I think this is another week where they use that momentum, make another statement. But whoever gets to cover this game, I'm jealous. And second of all, get your popcorn ready again, because I think Callaway, just the entire roster from top to bottom, absolutely believes and knows what they want. So I think, with Callaway, with all that momentum, Bremen, we kind of circled this. We looked through the schedule like, oh my gosh, no, we have to go to this game.
Yeah, I looked. We were doing the schedule for this week.
Right.
I'm like, wait. Who? Number 2 in the state?
Right.
I thought they were in AAA.
So, one of those things. I mean, Callaway has beaten Opelika and will continue to beat bigger opponents. The talent there is just insane.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to pick against.
This will be a test, though.
You're right. You are absolutely right.
This will be a test to see where Callaway is.
So we know how they stacked up against Troop, and that was a big test 2 weeks ago. This one, they probably learned a lot from that Troop game. Learned a lot about your personnel. When you finally get tested like that, you get a lot of the information that you want. So I think they take that. This Bremen game won't be a blowout. I think it comes down to 1 or 2 scores. So
I agree.
Callaway's it's gonna be a lot of fun.
They'll have their hands full, but it will be a lot of fun to watch. I guarantee you that.
Absolutely.
Over back state to Columbus, Muskogee County, another big-time Region 1 4A matchup between those Carver Tigers we mentioned, facing off against the Northside Patriots, who are trying to get anything to go right after starting 2-0, now 2-3, in a date with the team that is tied atop the region standings. And for Northside, I don't want to say it's a must-win yet.
It's close to it.
It's very close.
It's close to it. So Northside, they love going up-tempo, and they had a lot of success against Harris County with the up-tempo. And, when you saw that they found a rhythm, when they get going like that, they look great. Here's the thing. You're running into a buzzsaw with Carver. Carver Tigers, I mean, they're so solid across the board. And, they may make it to – they won't knock anybody out probably from the jump. But that's a team that won't stop. And so I believe in Kyrie McCoy. With Northside, gosh, man, this could turn into a real ugly season really quickly because the schedule doesn't get any easier.
No, it doesn't.
So Carver, I think this is finally their last big test before they go on the road.
Yeah, Cairo looms next week.
Potential trap game for Carver because you're looking at Cairo, you prepare for Cairo. Northside has stumbled recently, but that's an opportunity for Northside to take advantage of it.
Absolutely. Big time game for both teams. Carver obviously trying to stay undefeated going into that tilt with Cairo next week. Northside is one of those teams that 1-2 in the region where you don't really want to go 1-3 because that pretty much makes the rest of your season must win.
So, I mean, it's early-ish. We're midway point of the season.
I mean, we still have a month and change left to go in the regular season.
But that time will fly by like that.
Yes.
So gotta win this one.
This one is essentially a must win for Northside.
But I think Carver has it, to be honest. So
I agree with you, man.
All right, the big one of the week, though, boys and girls.
It is our Pepsi PrepZone game of the week. It is the 48th battle for the Brucelli Jug between the Pacelli Vikings and the Brookstone Cougars. And I think one of the surprises in our area is the Pacelli Vikings.
Oh, absolutely.
0-10 last year, 3-2 so far this year, and have looked good.
So the Pacelli Vikings, I mean, unfortunately, they were the doormat last year. But Brookstone has still been very, very solid. And the interesting thing is when I spoke to the Cougars earlier this week, they said that, the Jug has been on our campus for the past 3 years.
Yep.
These seniors, like Jeremiah Burgess, Ben Sloan, they don't want it to leave. So if anything, this is the most important year for the Brucelli Jug to be fought for. But you aren't playing the Vikings from last year.
No, you are not.
So this team with Pacelli, they're hungry, they're gritty. Coach Blair talked about how much better they are on defense. They control the ball much better. It's overall just a much better team. So it won't be the 61-14 game that it was last year. This year, I think it does come down to the fourth quarter to see if both teams will be punching back and forth. It'll be a lot of fun. But I'm edging with Brookstone.
Listen, Martin LeGree has done a phenomenal job over at his alma mater at Pacelli. I mean, this is a team that, this time last year was dead in the water. Okay, I hate to say it, but it wasn't pretty last year.
Right.
Most of their games were not close, and now you see Pacelli not only winning games I mean, not only being competitive, but they're winning games and blowing teams out. They beat Central Tarleton last week 37-8. Like,
pleasantly, you know, we don't want to say that we were always shocked when a Pacelli win comes through, but it was a very pleasant surprise. Like, all right, look, this is a team now.
Yeah, this is
a squad now.
We have to, you know, focus on you guys now.
So absolutely, that's you know what, just a simple message to all of you out there that want more coverage: win a lot, and do it the right way. We'll be out there to cover you guys. And the Pacelli Vikings, you have absolutely deserved it.
Exactly.
Good luck heading into Friday.
The way we always say it is, give us a reason to talk about you.
Pacelli, you made us talk about you.
Exactly.
Absolutely, and you have absolutely deserved it.
Absolutely deserved it. They've had a great season so far, and this is a huge game in terms of power rankings too.
Yeah.
Going into this game, Brookstone tied for 23rd, which means they are tied for the last spot currently. Pacelli just on the outside looking in at 26. So big game for both teams as they look to make their run. And of course, Brookstone still controls his own destiny to the Region 4-1A title game. But Brookstone plays Marion County and Manchester next 2 weeks.
That is a gauntlet.
That, my friends, is a gauntlet.
So a lot of fun. And of course, even though Justin's not here with us right now, man, that man gets all the good stuff, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Gets the Brucelli Jug matchup. He'll do a great job out there with live reports at 5 and 6.
Absolutely, absolutely. Before we get into the tailgate, you know what time it is. It's time to check out our teams hitting the road, and we got a biggie in Region 5-4A as Troop hits the road to Tyrone to face off with the Sandy Creek Fighting Patriots. Now, this is the game that Troop made its coming out party last year.
Okay.
They put 71 on a then top 10 ranked Sandy Creek.
They may do it again.
I don't know. Sandy Creek's good.
Sandy Creek's good, but man,
But Troop is legit.
wow, they're only getting better. That's what's crazy.
That's scary.
Kobe Hudson is a wideout in college, and he's doing this at the high school level. This makes no sense, but oh my gosh, him, Jamari Thrash, Kim Makuta, you guys are so much fun to watch. So I think Troop maybe puts another big win and a lot of numbers on Sandy. But you're right, Sandy Creek does have a squad. So
yes, they do. And back down to Region 1-4A, Columbus makes the daunting trip down to South Georgia to face off with Cairo at West Thomas Stadium. Cairo is, as we said earlier, currently tied with Carver for first in Region 1-4A with their game coming up next week. So Cairo will be looking to put Columbus away, but as we've said, Columbus is not an easy out by any stretch of the imagination, and don't sleep on the Blue Devils.
Real quick, yeah, because they take a lot of those lessons that you learn from Carver. You got to start out strong and be consistent. So I think they give Cairo a much better game than they did with Carver. So we'll see how the Blue Devils do. Good luck to you guys on the road.
Absolutely. And over in Alabama, a couple of AISA games. Springwood trying to get everything back going on the right track after being ranked in the top 10 and then having a few bad games. They will hit the road to Morgan Academy. And, of course, the top number 4 ranked Chambers County Rebels, they will hit the road to face off with Kingwood Christian. And, of course, as we said earlier, our tailgate, the battle for the Brucelli Jug between Pacelli and Brookstone over at Rex Knight Stadium. Justin Holbrook, he will be off the disabled list and be there 5 and 6 o'clock on First and Evening Edition. And as always, scores, highlights, and more on the Prep Zone with that guy and Justin, 11:15, 10:15 Central, right here on News 3. And of course, follow us all on social media. We are at WRBL Sports on Twitter, News 3 Sports on Facebook, at Rex Castillo TV, at Justin Holbrook, at Jay Patterson TV. We will keep you covered on everything Chattahoochee Valley high school football and other things too. But for now, that is going to do it for Week 7 for Justin, who get well soon, please. Absolutely, because it's kind of hard to do this thing without him. For Justin and Rex, I am Jack. We will see you next week for Week 8 of the Prep Zone preview. As always, go out and enjoy the games.